The draft is starting again for map number 2. We have, of course, G2 Esports, currently down 1 map in the best of 3 series. And Infernal Shrines is currently the map that we are looking at. We have Fnatic with the first, well, actually like with the second ban here. G2 Esports got rid of Tyrande. Since Fnatic has first pick, they figured that Fnatic would most likely try and get Tyrande here early on, since of course it's one of their main heroes. To be honest with you, actually G2 Esports has the first pick. I could see them try and go for something like... It's actually interesting, because normally I would have said that they might go for something like even an early Jaina. Like, there's a lot of heroes that they could have gone for, even a Tyrande if they didn't ban her out. But we saw in the last game Fnatic go for Sonya. And the way that they play Sonya, if I would play against Fnatic, I would probably ban Sonya out, because it's one of the most important heroes here. Abathur is also a very good early pick on Infernal Shrines. So maybe G2 Esports is like toying around with the idea of picking an Abathur here. Kel'Thas has been banned out by Fnatic. They don't really like that hero there too much. But there is the Sonya pick. So they pick Sonya away, and Fnatic immediately with an Abathur and the Jaina. I kind of like what Fnatic did here. G2 Esports, I personally have to admit, it's really tricky. Right now we have so many heroes that are extremely good. Blizzard has done such an amazing job when it comes to balancing the game that we have a lot of different compositions that work now. And with Sonya already taken, Fnatic says, hey, you didn't ban Abathur, we can go Jaina, Abathur and have a double Jaina in these fights. They could have, of course, gone into a Jaina Tyrande if G2 Esports decided to ban Abathur instead. One option would have been to ban out Jaina herself here. That takes a lot of the burst potential away, and it's actually like also something that you can really think about here. But they decided to not do that. Kel'Thas was banned out by Fnatic. They of course didn't know that would happen, but for now they have the next few picks. And this is when we're talking about heroes like Tyrael, about Uther. Like, there's so many options of how you can actually like form this composition around Sonya. If you have a Tyrael, you work against the burst damage of your opponent. Uther, as I just mentioned, is a solid option. The Divine Shield is strong. And there's the Tyrael. There we go. So they pick Tyrael, and they also pick Uther, the two heroes that I just mentioned. This is going to be kind of fun. I kind of like that. That's actually like really, really nice. Yeah, we have currently Fnatic with the next ban here, and that means for them that they will probably try... What could they ban out here? Range damage is something that G2 Esports didn't really add to the lineup yet, so it's going to be one of the things that they need. Fnatic will have to think about, hey, what are we really afraid of here? They could ban out a false stat, they could ban out Arena, for example. There's a few options of what they can do in that regard, but let's see what they actually banned. The draft is a bit delayed here. We have G2 Esports now with their part as well. And oh, Tassadar, of course, really good option there as well. Actually forgot about Tassadar there. Yeah, you want to make sure that Sonya does not have a Tassadar besides an Uther to back her up. That would be like the nightmare scenario. So G2 Esports, they have to ban a hero now out as well, and it is of course Muradin. I mean, that was a bit of a no-brainer there. If you already have a Jaina, and you have the potential copy on Jaina thanks to Abathur, you want to make sure that there is no more stuns. For Fnatic, I would probably expect... I could see an ETC here for them again. With a Jaina, it's a pretty solid hero, and there he is, ETC already chosen. They still need some heals, and I guess in this setup... This is actually like an interesting setup to think about. Normally you would say Karazhan is going to be their hero when we are looking at what has been taken and banned out. But in theory, you could actually try to head into something like a Malfurion with their setup, I suppose. The problem with Malfurion is that he has to be really good with the positioning then. But you have the root that you can use to give Jaina even a bit more damage thanks to like just locking the target down. ETC can also, of course, help out with... he can help out ETC with the power slide and everything else, with like keeping heroes in place. But Karazhan is really good when it comes to negating the bird's damage. And on Infernal Shrines in particular, yeah... Karazhan can be a hero that can like dash in, dash out, heal everybody up, everybody's clustered, then you just like drop real quickly one of your Divine Palms if you really have to. So it's really, in terms of support, an interesting choice for Fnatic now. When it comes to the rest of their heroes, we have a... Brightwing is also... Brightwing is also pretty solid. Brightwing gives you the shields and you have the global presence. That can be pretty nice. I would have liked the Karazhan, but I have to admit that Brightwing is actually pretty cool. And G2 Esports, they do what they always do. They add that Sylvanas once that they can. It's really interesting to see that, especially in the Korean scene. We oftentimes have a Tyrael with Judgment and a Sylvanas with Wailing Arrow, or we had. We don't really have that anymore since just Sanctification took over so much. And it's very unlikely that G2 Esports is going to try and use that Judgment Wailing Arrow combo. They will most likely rely on Tyrael using Sanctification to negate that Jaina and Abathur damage that we see here. Fnatic could even add a second frontliner. They could go into something like a Leoric or a Johanna. Given their history, I would say that a Johanna, if they decide to go into a second tank, is a bit more likely. They could also go into even more damage, and that's exactly what they do. Vala is on this map, of course, quite solid. For the very same reason, I mean, like, you have with Vala a hero that can go into these fights on the shrines and can just simply, like, get the multi-shot out and do a lot of damage to the opponent's hero, but at the same time also make sure that you get a few of those minion kills. This is going to be extremely important here, and it's going to be something that they are going to try and attempt to do. So we're going to go into our next game as soon as they are ready. It looks like everybody is in the lobby except for our Russian caster. We are short Happy Zerk, and once that he's in-game, we will be able to go straight for the next match. We have everybody else from the player side at least already in the game, and therefore we should be able to start pretty soon. Keep in mind that Fnatic is currently ahead. They have a 1-0 lead right now in this series, and that of course means that if they take it on Infernal Shrines now as well, then they will have their won their first match in the HBA. So yeah. Okay, there comes the hero selections. Let's see. Big shout out once again also to G2A and Twitch, of course, sponsoring the Heroes Battle Arena. We have everybody getting in position here. And also our second caster is in. Okay, good to go, I'd say. So let's get this show on the road, I suppose. Right now, just like looking at the setup that we're seeing for both of these teams, I would really say that Fnatic can do a lot of damage if they get that Sonya into play. This is really a lot about positioning. You have on these shrines, on Infernal Shrines, of course, a very like closed area where AoE reigns supreme. And there's a lot of AoE that we are seeing for Fnatic now. Depends very much on the Wailing Arrow, how the Wailing Arrow hits, how Tyrael places down his Sanctification. G2 Esports has a very cool lineup to negate a lot of the damage that we are seeing on the side of Fnatic. Like, they can use Sanctification, they can use the Divine Shield, they have even that Wailing Arrow that can help them out with that as well. There's a lot of options that they have and how they could use the entire setup here. But yeah, I personally am very interested to see how Fnatic is going to deal with this, because I think in most of the games that we've seen recently, they have been able to just like grab lineups that worked extremely well for them, and by now teams are starting to pick up on that, so they're denying a lot of the options or a lot of like the favorite combos that we saw for Fnatic, and I suppose that this is something that we're going to see again. So the game has started, so let's jump right in. And we are live with game number 2, everybody. 1-0 in the lead, Fnatic versus G2 Esports, and to the left side of the map we have Fnatic with Breeze on ETC. We have Quacknix playing Vala, Mene and Jaina. We have Shad on Abathur and Smexis on Brightwing. And to the right side of the map we are currently seeing Juve on Tyrael for G2 Esports. We have Uther played by Leo from Poland, Nika on Sylvanas, Shichu on Sonya, and Falstad is played by Bashek. Yeah, job well done so far with the setup, with the entire draft that they've been able to get together here. Now, of course, they have to follow that up with a win, because if they don't take it here, then they are already down 1 best-of-3 in the HBA. So right now we have up to the top lane, well, Brightwing was actually taking position at the bot lane, and at the top lane was Quacknix and Breeze. Their style usually has been to just try and get early kills by roaming around on the map, and they do actually very smart rotations on this map in particular, because they're always trying to see where their opponents are positioned and when their own rotation starts, and then try to intercept those. So at the top we have, oh, the escape from Nika, just barely. The Haunting Wave is helping him here. I was actually thinking that for a second it might result in him and Sylvanas dying, because that Haunting Wave could have been a tiny bit too late, but it was just in time to dodge that here. So yeah, extremely well done. Good play from them. Mene, Breeze and Quacknix are at the top lane right now, getting the experience for the team. And down to the mid lane, we're having Shichu, Leo and Juve trying to push this one in, but the rotation of Fnatic is already underway. Shad with his Abathur is soaking as much experience as he can. And to the bot lane, it's the mobile heroes that are really currently trying to soak experience, Brightwing and Falstad. When it comes to talent, we have Shad now with that Locust build, and that is something that we have seen by Fnatic, and especially Shad in the recent past a lot. He is incredible on his Abathur. His Abathur is absolutely stunning. I was blown away. Like, he controlled the entire map and it was just crazy good. And we're also now seeing well, at least for now, that multi-shot build, I've been talking about it a bit during the draft. If you have these big fights on the objectives, then having AoE is of course what you really need, which is also why I kind of expect Snowstorm from Mane, especially since he has Conjurer Pursuit as his level 1 talent that more or less solves his mana problems already. And here comes that fight with Fnatic trying to get those minion kills first. Brightwing and Abathur are still soaking experience, and that's of course one of the advantages of having an Abathur on this map. The longer the objective fight lasts, the more experience Abathur is going to be able to soak. That's why Falstad had to move down to the bot lane to make sure that they don't fall behind too much. But Chiku, he going down on his Sonya up at the top, a bit too aggressive and dies in Whirlwind. Well played on the part of Fnatic. They have now their level 4 talents in play, as do their opponents. And once again, a massive lead in minions for Fnatic. They are having a strong early game here, and they're really doing whatever they can to maintain that. We see them with potentially the first Punisher of the game. We have Blizzard on level 4. There's also Peekaboo now used for Brightwing, and Brightwing is starting to just like roam again. Jumps in, provides a few heals, provides Peekaboo so that they have the vision, and a potential kill against Leo. Uther! Oh, there's the power slide and the kill. Job well done. Great play here by Fnatic. They get the first Punisher, they get the first 2 kills in the game, and they are already starting to move in immediately into the mid lane to drop some of these structures as well. G2 Esports has rotated heroes on the other lanes to make sure that they get at least the lane experience, that they have a headcount there. And we are now seeing Flowrider taken on level 4. We have the Boundless Conviction for Uda on level 4 now taken 2. That helps him with the heals in these shrine fights. G2 Esports is doing a pretty decent job maintaining the experience that they have. I mean, not falling behind too far. If you think about like how well Fnatic is positioned here when it comes to experience soaking, then we have to... Another kill against Sylvanas, it's incredible. Then G2 Esports is doing fairly well with having Brightwing down to the bot lane and making sure that they don't fall behind too much. Because there's a Brightwing to split soak, there's an Abathur to split soak, and there's 3 kills already for Fnatic now too. So G2 Esports is still not as far behind as you could possibly imagine here, considering how the game has been going so far. So right now, we are having level 7 talents hitting a bit faster for Fnatic, which allows again the Vile Nest for the movement speed slow. We have also the Prolific Dispersal here on level 4 with a cooldown, so you can really spam out these mines, which is of course what Abathur in this case is all about. Getting vision on the map, making sure that your opponent movements are slowed, and trying to just like zone out and control. We have camps taken by both of the teams. Fnatic has 3 kills against 0 and they took the mid wall, but they know that they're not really far enough ahead to feel safe here. They need to still be vigilant when they move the map. And they always have 3 heroes roaming. It's very rarely that we see a single hero moving out somewhere. So instead they're just like moving around the entire time as 3, make sure that they don't have any isolated heroes on the map. And that's one of the things that G2 Esports did, which is why they're already behind, because a few of their heroes got picked in these fights. Now we have, again, the objective up at the top. And this is a lot of camps that are starting to push now, especially, of course, when we're talking about this Bruiser camp here. Fnatic eliminates the Bruiser camp of the opponent and has now a shot up at the top. But G2 Esports is already roaming. We have Bashek on his Falstad and Brightwing down to the bot lane here. And these 2 heroes can, of course, join the fight whenever they want to. But keep that Abathur in mind that is positioning himself in the mid lane. Once that he sees everybody at the top lane, he will try and just like move around to get the experience. And here comes Falstad flying to the top. Brightwing is already here. Shiku jumps in. The damage though! And the stun. The coordination here on Fnatic is fantastic. Great move against Sonya, taking her out. Immediately the move by Shat into the mid lane now that he realizes that Falstad has arrived at the top lane. And they are going for the Punisher again. Level 9.5, soon they will be level 10 and get the heroic ability. Shat moves away in the last second before Juve is trying to take him out here. He is paying so much attention to the positioning of the opponent. It is crazy. That's one of his biggest strengths right now, that he is just so damn good when it comes to map awareness. And it's something that, especially in the later stages of the game, are extremely helpful. So we have in the mid lane now Falstad going up against Snexy style. Level 10s already with the Mosh Pit. We have Strafe chosen on the side of Vala. And Blink heal for Brightwing, of course. It's not only the heal, but also the mobility that you have on Brightwing then within a fight. Even if Sonya, for example, jumps you, you can always just move away. The Ring of Frost is the talent of choice. Strafe being used. It's more about zoning than anything else here, but Bashik is low, has to barrel roll over the wall, and Leo healing him up. Even the copy is now out on Shat, and I'm not quite sure if that was maybe a bit too early, maybe a bit premature, but they're starting to move in again. Shat from the back line. He should really survive for too long, but he can at least drop them off the horse. Leo with a quick stun, but at the top lane we have the Punisher going deep, and Nika is on the run. There's the Arcane Sentries everywhere. So now we have, at least in this case, yep, there it is, the Punisher going for the fort. Not quite taking it down yet, but getting there. Taking quite a few of those hit points away. And down to the bot lane, Shat is still soaking experience. And we're also like seeing, of course, in the mid lane right now, Mena and the rest of the team just rotating around, waiting for the waves, taking those. That leading experience for them is still there. It's a small one, but it is significant if we hit the talent faster. And this is what they are currently attempting to do, of course. Heading towards 13, and then run the 13 talent to get an additional advantage. Reese, Mena, and the rest are moving down. Oh, but the kill against Abathur. Well, Slug is dead for the first time in the game, but maybe there's an attempt to do something about it. Oh, there was an interesting mosh pit, but already stunned out by the silence. Mena gets away. Shirhu again far out, but the kill against ETC. Sonya herself not dying here. That was actually well played. So now all of a sudden experience is identical, especially with Tyrell being joining the fight but being present in the mid lane, which he has been doing the entire time. So that job well done. Already a move into the bot lane by 3 heroes, but there is quite some resistance from Fnatic. In terms of kills, we have 4 kills against 2, and up to the top lane right now. Yep, Juve is in his spot, taking experience as much as he can, but Abathur is already back and borrowed immediately up to the top lane towards the gate so that he can soak the experience once the minions come into reach. We have in the bot lane still a bit of a fight happening. It's like this 3 versus 3 that we're seeing right now. We have, of course, for both of the teams still all 6 of their forts still in play. As their rogue abilities, by the way, it was indeed Judgment that was used. I didn't really talk about it yet. But you might have seen it already. So Judgment is the talent, and Judgment and Wailing Arrow is a combo that I've been talking about during the draft. I really thought they would go for Sanctification instead, considering how much AoE exists on the side of Fnatic. But they want to go for a more aggressive approach. So G2 Esports not relying on Sanctification to negate damage, but instead they move in with Judgment and try to get the Wailing Arrow afterwards to get these kills in. Level 13 talents are also ready, and this is going to be a very interesting right one. So at this point, we're seeing them moving up to the top here. Yeah, damage against Juve. Judges in, goes for Jaina. Ice block used already, but Jaina is very much alone. Smexy Style was trying to jump in. Ah, the kills. Jaina and Brightwing are both dead. Sonya dies as a result now too. But the big problem here is still that even with the Ice block, there was just no escape for Mena. He was trying to use the Ring of Frost as a matter of escape here, but that didn't really work. You could really see that combo though. Judgment with the Wailing Arrow, that silence right afterwards did a whole lot. It didn't really hit perfectly or anything, but it was close enough to guarantee that kill that we've seen there. So we had a very, very nice move on the side of that. And we have once again the fight over the objective. And this time it's actually 33 minions that we're seeing for Team Gamer GG Esports. And they are trying to, well, get those last 2, and they will get the Punisher here. It's just a bit too late. Jaina is really so crucial when you want to go for these minions, thanks to all the AoE that she has. It's not only the Blizzard, it's that Cone of Cold as well that you can just throw out. And that's one of the things that we just need to show. Besides that, oh, the stun against Quacknick. Shirhu is actually still trying to take him down, but he's super low. Divine Shield is being used. Sonya should be careful. Sonya should be very... Yeah, well, Sonya should have been careful, but she is dead. And now there's a potential to maybe kill another hero. Oh, the Punisher! The Punisher! Oh my god! Brightwing just got punished. Quacknix is also dying. I didn't even see him in the circle, but the Punisher is eliminating 2. Tyrael and Sonya died on the side of G2 Esports, but the 6th man, the Punisher, he's the one who really comes through for G2 Esports. He jumps in and takes out 2 of the heroes. It was actually like a fun one. Like, you don't expect when you go for the heroes that suddenly that Punisher jumps in from the other side and just says like, hey boys, how you doing? And slams that fist in your face. So that was a bit unexpected. But we're also like going straight into like that level 16 area, right? I mean, we're 50 now, but still we're getting there. And the important part is really that with Shat using that Abathur again with the Bombard strain, and then afterwards also, of course, with that Locust Brood, it's something that he can use now to really get the push going on the map, especially when these objectives fight happen. It's one of the things that is incredibly important to them, to their setup, and they are going to attempt to use exactly that. So just keep Abathur on the off lane, make sure that Abathur pushes the entire time with the Locust and take it from there. And he has also, besides everything else, another camp that is pushing the lane now too. But we have a bit of an attack down here. An attempt by Fnatic to move for a camp. They are not 16 yet. GG Esports is though. And that means Holy Ground, Benediction, Stone Skin. And Sonya jumps in and the kill against Brightwing. The composition that we are seeing for GG Esports is just like really, really strong. And Fnatic needs to make sure that they go into these fights with a good mosh pit. ETC is their only frontliner, and if he's not able to get that mosh pit in, then they are just in trouble. There's no shrine announced yet, so it's going to be all good until Brightwing is back, but they're going to lose out on a few structures and therefore experience. We're seeing now finally the Locust Brood taken, and also an imposing presence for ETC, which will help him. The group is of course giving some heals now too. And Juve apparently wants Abathur, and he's not alone. Shihu is there as well. Whoa, what? He gets away. The slug escapes. Crazy. Chat is actually able to get away there, but another fort is down. Experience is still very close though. Very, very close. And this is now the fight they've been waiting for. Here comes Vala with a strafe. Look at Shihu, gets the Divine Shield. He was really low. And Barshik and Nika in the back line are super low in hit points, but Breeze might fall, and he does, and so does now also Abathur. Abathur has been eliminated. Brightwing and ETC, they're all dying. E2 Esports was extremely low in HP, but they are able to just move away from this. This is looking fantastic for them now. 10 kills against 7. It's definitely a bit closer than the last game, but E2 Esports is now in a position where they can aim for the first key here. This push up to the left side is starting to not only take down the entire wall, but also starts to threaten the rest of the structures. But there's no more waves coming in, and that's the biggest problem. Sonya died here actually against Quacknix, and wow, it's actually not Sonya, it's also Uther. Sonya and Uther died to the defenders, to Mena and Quacknix, and they are aiming for the next hero now as well. They actually want Juve too, and ETC is coming back. Brightwing is jumping in as well. So this is all of a sudden looking extremely grim for GG Esports. They might lose another hero here, and that's very bad timing. That tribute or that objective is on the map. There's the kill against Tyrael. They overstayed their welcome and moved in. That is actually interesting to see. That was very interesting to see. I did not expect them to go this far in and then just lose that. So right now we all of a sudden are seeing the fight happening down to the, or not the fight, but we're seeing Breeze fighting the minions in the bot lane, trying to get some of those for the next Punisher. We have still GG Esports in the leading experience with nearly level 19 versus 18, but Fnatic is in a very great spot all of a sudden to really start this comeback. They could have lost the keep there and they didn't. Instead they killed 3 of their opponent's heroes. It's 10 kills against 10 kills. And that now all of a sudden means that we could also see, well, we are going to see a Punisher for Fnatic. There's no doubt about that. But with that, they could easily just like push in one of these lanes, especially as at the bot lane. There's still 2 towers ready. That means that that's a ton of experience that Fnatic is going to take right now. Not only the towers, but most likely also the fort. And that, of course, is going to bring them very close to their opponent's level. They might even be the ones to hit level 20 first if they continue like this. They push in extremely hard, and they still have Abathur, who can now jump from lane to lane and use his locusts. Bit of a trap from G3 Esports. Brightwing jumping in, sees everything with a peekaboo. So now they can move in, maybe against Sylvanas. Not yet. Nika with a like tiny hop there with his haunted wave. And down to the bot lane, the Punisher is going indeed through the wall and jumps in, and that means now level 19.5. They are ahead in experience again. Strafe being used. Look at that Punisher there. In comes the mighty Gus, but that didn't really help too much. Fnatic will be moving back. They don't have the level 20 yet. Juve actually is following them for a few more seconds, but I highly doubt that he's going to heavily commit to this since the rest of the team isn't ready yet. And there is the snipe against him, and they're gonna get no kill since Divine Shield was ready. But this is a heroic ability, of course, that G2 Esports cannot rely upon now yet. We have level 20 chosen. The Storm talents are there. Triple Bolt of the Storm already. Wow, they really want to have the damage now. Sorry, not the damage, but the sustain. A triple Bolt of the Storm, and we see the Locust Nest for Abathur. That's going to help him a lot to keep these lanes pushed. But at the top lane, he has actually like quite some trouble against the opponent's camp here. but looks like G2 Esports is going to hit that rank too. So this is actually going to be a very fun game at this point, because right now the setup that we're seeing for G2 Esports, I really like it a lot, the talents that they have. They had a very good position in the game, but they overstayed when they were attacking the top keep. They were just like pushing a bit too deep, didn't really respect the damage that could come out of Vala and Jaina, and therefore they started to lose heroes. First Sonya, and then also Uther and Tyrael, and that really took a lot of the, threat away. Like, they didn't only lose these 3 heroes, they lost the objective afterwards, and they were ahead, and now it's basically even levels, also even talents. Falstad, of course, is going to become a bit of a problem now that he has not only like Hammer Time, Secret Weapon, and the Power Throw, but also the Nexus Frenzy that helps him with the auto attacks. Next fight could theoretically end the game, and there's again that setup with a bush that is being used here. Nobody's moving in just yet. They want to though. Breeze. If he gets one good mosh pit, then this is just game over, and they know it. Mosh pit and a good Ring of Frost, the Spave behind it, that could do so much. Abathur should actually position himself down to the bot lane. He's currently, and he does move to the bot lane just now, but goes in with a copy immediately. They want to go for the fight right now. Shat wants to go for the fight, and they do. Another Divine Shield is ready. Quacknix uses the damage. Here comes the quick ball. Oh, and the attempted snipe, taking down the Abathur copy. Silence was there. They go for Quacknix. They take him down. Vala is eliminated, and this is starting to look really bad for Fnatic. They're about to lose Nexi style. There goes Brightwing, and in comes Falstad. Great blink for Mena. Breeze lets them dance for a bit. He's having some fun here. Abathur with the help, and they're actually wasting quite a lot of time trying to chase him down. They will chase him down immediately. But I actually think they could have even moved in and took one of the keeps already, so they waste a few seconds. I guess it was worth it after all. They didn't chase for too long, and now they move to the top. This is going to mean keep for sure. Abathur, can Abathur maybe start to push these lanes a bit and give them a position where they can deal with this? I don't think so. The defense alone is already going to be incredibly difficult, if not impossible, because there's just way too much damage from the side of G2 Esports. They go for core, of course, and Mena alone, even with a copy on Shat, is not going to be able to do anything about it. There's another 11 seconds until Vala is back. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be game number 2. We will see a third game between G2 Esports and Fnatic. Well played by G2A. Great game here, and GG.